Flashback to 2004. This official looking lady with an ominous clipboard is talking to me. Everything else was good, but because of that one thing, I have to fail you. Sorry, she says in a sorry not sorry tone of voice. I apologize or thank her as she gets out of my car. At least I'd like to believe I did, but I'm totally blanking on that detail. What I do clearly remember is as I gape at her walking away, my brain's going, what the F just happened? Oh, I said the word, I'm just censoring it for your benefit. For 5 years, I'd driven through Bangalore on my own. I could even navigate the bylanes of Shivajinagar like a pro. But my first driving test in the US, I flunked. I'd actually freaking flunked. Imagine my embarrassment. If you're unfamiliar with Shivajinagar, think of it this way. If driving through Bangalore is a Super Mario Brothers game, Shivajinagar is the Bowser level. Narrow, winding streets, swerving buses and autos, and young boys on two-wheelers, often 3 squeezed onto one scooter. Without helmets, I might add. Their general attitude towards traffic rules is, they're just a serving suggestion. For everyone. Yep. Not only do they not bother with the rules, they expect everyone else also will be breaking them by default. If someone's actually on the correct side of the street or slowing down to let pedestrians cross, these boys get puzzled expressions on their faces. You can almost hear their brains going, does not compute. So I'd always thought that driving through Shivajinagar on a regular basis was the ultimate proof of my incredible grip, grit and presence of mind as a driver. All of which just went poof in the presence of the Bloomington, Illinois driving test lady. Yep, I failed my driving test in a small town in the Midwest where roads are wide, traffic is low, and drivers are actually polite. These people respect stop signs and know who has the right of way at any junction. And you know why I failed? It's because everyone followed the damn rules. Apparently, my brain was so used to chaos on the roads that any semblance of order totally messed with my head. So on the day of my driving test, I'm so petrified of breaking a single traffic rule in the US that I become overly careful. Perfect parallel parking, reversing safely, turning on the indicators at the right points, checking mirrors often, maintaining optimum speed. My driving is golden. Right up to the point when there was this red light at a junction where I was supposed to turn right onto a main road. Right turns are usually free rights in the US, like we have free lefts in India. If there are other vehicles on the perpendicular road, we need to stop at the red light. But if there aren't any, then we can turn even at a red light. No vehicles around, but I see the red light and come to a complete stop. And I wait. You can insert elevator background music here. After about 30 seconds, the lady gently says, it's okay to turn right because there are no other vehicles here. You don't have to wait at the red light. Now my brain is going, does not compute. Because I'm so stuck on this idea that I have to strictly follow all the rules in the US that what she is saying sounds almost like borderline breaking a rule, turning at a red light. It didn't flash to my head that, sus, no one's going to fail you for being overly careful. So after she said it's okay to turn, I got scared. I'm like, oh, that means I cannot be too careful. At the next red light, if I have to take a right turn, I'll take the free right turn. So I'm driving, and the next junction comes. This is from a small road onto a main road. And there is a red light. I'm standing on the right side of the road. And there's another car zooming on the main road, perpendicular road, and they have to go straight. Of course, they have the right of way, but I'm like, oh no, if I stop, my driving instructor will say something. And then something got jammed in my head. So then the Shivajinagar Susmita came out. So I tried to squeeze past faster. I tried to beat the other vehicle and take that turn. They came really close and braked, and then I braked, and it was a very scary situation. That poor lady, her heart nearly jumped out of her mouth. See, I'm sure DMV officials are used to bad drivers. They would have failed plenty of them in their lifetime. But I, with my pristine driving right up to that point, had lulled her into a false sense of security. So she did not see that scary moment coming. Nothing happened. We were all safe. I made that turn and the other vehicle stopped, and I zoomed off forward, and in my head I'm like, I was feeling so happy that I managed to make that turn. But that lady was screaming next to me. And then I'm like, oops, that was a big oopsie. So finally, after the rest of the drive, which also I did very well, we went and parked in front of the DMV, and that lady goes, everything else was good, but that mistake was too big to ignore, so I have to fail you. Come back for your test tomorrow. Of course, I got an appointment for the very next day, went back, and by then I had calmed down and I'd got some sense into my head about not being too afraid. I kind of centered in, tapped into my confident self, and I drove really well. I did not skip any red lights, nor did I wait too long. I was the perfect driver. It was a different lady. At the end of the drive, she's like, oh, you were just fine. And chuck, she ticked and passed me, and I got my driving license. What was the difference between my first driving test and my second one? Why did I mess that first one up so bad? It was my attachment to rules. It was my fear of rules. Now, don't get me wrong, rules are important and very necessary, otherwise we'd have total mayhem. But sometimes we're so afraid of breaking them that we make up rules where there aren't any. Or we pile on layers and layers of importance to tiny consequences and imagine them to be hulking versions of themselves. All I had to do on that first driving test was to tune into my inner calm, confident driver and realize that if I could easily navigate through the chaos of Shivajinagar, the orderly roads of Bloomington should be child's play if I stay alert and aware. Instead, I kept watching myself through the DMV lady's eyes. What's she going to think? What's she going to say? How's she judging me? And I turned into a pile of nerves. Now let's dwell on this for a bit. Ask yourself, what rules are real and what rules are plain made up inside your head? And how are they screwing with your life, stopping you from exploring or being your true authentic self? Often in our lives, in our business, in our creativity, whatever, you look at all the different aspects of our lives, This fear of rules, fear of how we should be, how things should be, other people's expectations, being afraid of what others think of us, being so scared to mess up in such a small way that we feel like it's going to lead to very big consequences. All of this stops us from moving forward, stops us from shining and being brave and really exploring things. Spend a few minutes making a list of rules and consider if they really are rules at all to begin with, or if they're even important, or if they're worthy of being followed to the point of them taking away your true nature, your authenticity, your joy, your confidence. And always remember, respect rules, yes. Know the rules, yes. But don't imagine them into being when they don't exist. And definitely don't be so scared of the consequences that your brain gets jammed. You just stop and make a fool of yourself like I did in front of the DMV lady. If you enjoyed this episode of the Feel Good Factor, you're totally going to enjoy my newsletter, The Feel Good Tribe. It's a free newsletter that I send out once or twice a month, and it's filled with stories from my life, hacks for veganism, how to be more joyful in your business, some spiritual tips, and a lot more. Go to my website veganosaurus.com/newsletter. The link is in the show notes, and sign up for the Feel Good Tribe. Once you sign up, you'll get a confirmation email. In case it's not in your inbox, check the spam folder or the promotions folder and click on confirm. Once you confirm, you're going to get a welcome email. Read that email and hit reply. I have some questions for you there. I'd love to get to know you. Looking forward to seeing you inside the Feel Good Tribe. All right, talk to you again next week. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again very soon. Bye!